So while our transmission's in the shop, we might as well take advantage of the time that we have to do the audio install. All the equipment's here, so it's time to tear this thing apart and get started. We mentioned in an earlier video, we're going to go with the Focal speakers, and we're only going to use 2 pair. So the factory Monsoon system has speakers in the doors, the B-pillars, and in the rear hatch, which creates a problem because that's 6 channels of audio plus the subwoofer, which we're going to add. It's just not conducive to using a simplified wiring system to pull that off. So we're going to use the RCX 165s in the B-pillars. These are coaxial speakers that have the tweeters mounted inside the woofer. For the door speakers, the RSE 165, which are basically the same speakers except they are components. So the tweeter is mounted separately in a different location, which is how it came from the factory in the doors of this car. For the subwoofer, I've always liked JL subwoofers, served well in every application I've ever used them. So this is a 10-inch 10W0V3. So it's a 300 watt subwoofer in this 10-inch configuration. It should be more than enough. We're not trying to beat down the block, as they say. We're mostly just trying to fill the entire audio stage in the car. Now this is the $90 and free shipping from Hi-Fi Sound Connection rear hatch enclosure. Now there's a perfect spot for this, for it to go right in. It's a pretty complicated piece. I would hate to have to do these measurements and cutting and carpeting and gluing, etc. So for 90 bucks shipped, it was a no-brainer. We're going to use this Wavetech line converter, which basically will just convert the audio from speaker wire outputs into RCA outputs. It also provides us with an opportunity for crossover network. And I want to say there are about 3 volt outputs coming from this, which is pretty strong, and it'll help clean the signal up and give us plenty of signal strength to our amplifier, which we're going to use this Kenwood Excelon Reference. This is an XR901-5. It's a 5-channel amplifier. What makes these great is 1 amp does everything you need. So we'll hook that line converter via these fairly short RCA cables, which are nice, heavy duty, into this amplifier, and it'll run all 4 of these speakers and the subwoofer. It's pretty easy. This will run 60 watts RMS to each of these. It'll run 400 watt RMS to the subwoofer, which we'll have that dialed down quite a bit. Now, the neat thing about this Wavetech Link 8 is it has an auxiliary input built in. So that's where we'll run this Bluetooth receiver. And via the remote control that comes with this, it will allow you to adjust the subwoofer output and has a button to push that lets the Bluetooth input take over the entire audio system outside of the volume knob on the factory head unit. Now, you may ask yourself, why would you keep the factory head unit? Well, we're cleaning up the audio from it, so it's not going to be an issue of sound quality. And I like the look of the factory audio system. It also deters some thieves that look in and just see that it's not some fancy $300 or $400 receiver. And most of this equipment, actually all of it, is going to be hidden in stock locations. So for passers-by, there's no way to know it even has an upgraded audio system. All right, so I've removed the driver's door panel first. Actually, these are an upgrade for GM after the 3rd gen. So remove a Phillips screw from this triangular filler plate that's here first, and then of course take pretty standard stuff. There's a Phillips screw here. You take the little lock slide clip off, unsnap that panel and the electrical connector. But what I want to point out is there's 1, 2, 3, and then this sneaky 4th rather large screw that holds the door panel in place. Now once you remove those, you just lift it off and remove it. Now you will have to pay close attention, because if you have the little small door speaker, here's the door panel and the speaker that goes there, you'll have a clip to remove for this. Now these little tabs just pry off, and we'll replace those. Then we'll have to unscrew this speaker to replace it with our Focal. Now, if you look, this is just a dust cover that comes on these factory speakers. You can tear that off, we can see what the problem is. That's not supposed to be open. Now here's a little unboxing for the RSE 165s. Speaker grills, which we won't use, but it is nice that they come with them for other applications. Alright, so here's the subwoofers, or woofers if you will. These actually have a lighter weight magnet than the factory speakers. But they seem to be completely connected all the way around, so I have a feeling this will be better. Also, here are the tweeters from the Focal. And these are the factories that we removed. This is the crossover, which is nice because in a door environment you kind of want something encapsulated, whereas this would just get wet in time with humidity, etc., even if it doesn't literally rain down in it. But this is a T-top car. There's opportunities for people to forget. Moisture gets in this and shorts it out. This foam only helps to keep the moisture up against any of the diodes or the circuit board connections. So this is definitely an upgrade as far as that's concerned. So if you've been part of this channel long enough to know, or long enough you should know, I don't like halfway doing anything. So just go ahead and pull the seats out, pull the console, bottom of the dash. So I could get to this ridiculousness. That thing is on its way out right now. Some jabroni had gone under the hood and mounted the tack feed wire to the ECM connection, which I can't imagine what kind of rocket surgeon would have thought that was a good idea. Anyway, the tack's on its way out, so we'll be able to tear all this, get that head unit out. I'll tie into the back of it for the speaker outputs, and then we'll run those back to where that sound or that line converter is and the amplifier. So just work. So again, things are progressing pretty well. We'll get this, I guess I'll just call it a table, cut out, and then we'll carpet it in the gray carpet that we have that we used on our last project. Get that in here and then start mounting the equipment. Then we can run the feed, or we've got the feed wires for our equipment, and then we'll start running the supply lines and installing speakers the places that they live. So good progress. Certainly aware of what an odd looking table this is, but it's an odd shaped compartment it's trying to fill. So I'll show you what it looks like inside. I understand that it's not exactly the same gray, but it will be hidden by that interior compartment. So gives us perfectly the right amount of space. Have our line converter here, and our amp can sit next to it. Can still access all of our crossovers, both of them, and have room to run these RCAs to the back side of the amp. So we'll get that mounted and do a bunch of tidying up. It's going to look awesome. Alright, so we have our equipment mounted up on a little table we built. We're oh so close to being finished. Subwoofer is in its place. All the wires are ran. Interior's of course still out. But all the speakers are mounted up, except for the tweeters in the door panels. We'll do those later. But I wanted to address this issue. Who in their right mind uses this type of battery cable anymore? I mean, somebody should be embarrassed that this even exists on a car this new. The negative post is the same way. Remember, these cars weren't built in the 30s where all they do is run power to the starter when you crank it. These things need a good connection, so don't ever run these. We'll fix them real quick. There we go. That's doing cool stuff. And have our amp wiring done with the inline fuse. So this install is complete and all the interior's back together. You can't tell that anything's been done to the audio system in this car. All the factory grills are still intact. Factory audio head unit still there. In the rear hatch, when the sunshade, if you will, is covered up, you can't even see the subwoofer, which is hidden nicely in this left quarter panel. I've put the T-tops in just so you can see that none of the factory functionality is affected. And then inside here is our line converter and our amp. And the only speakers we didn't replace, we just removed, were these sail speakers. And those were the only speakers that weren't just completely blown in the car. These are the, I think GM actually considered these woofers. And then of course the tweeters are right by them. But they weren't really doing much anyway, so we didn't bother replacing them. The 5 1/4 were all completely rotted out in the rest of the car, so it had to be done. Couldn't be happier. This thing completely rocks.